Moving to the United States is a big life change. Whether you're here for work, education, or to build a new life, one thing becomes clear very quickly. Money works differently here. From credit scores to taxes, the U.S. financial system has its own rules, and they aren't always easy to understand, especially if no one has taught you. And even if you haven't just moved to the U.S., chances are you weren't taught a whole lot about money. But don't worry. In this guide, we'll walk you through the basics of how money works in America so you can avoid common traps, start strong, and build a solid financial future. 1. The U.S. banking system. If you haven't already opened a bank account in the U.S., it will probably be one of your first steps. Most employers pay you through direct deposit, which requires at least a checking account. You'll also need it to pay bills, shop online, and avoid carrying large amounts of cash. There are typically two types of accounts you'll encounter. Checking account for daily use. This is where your paycheck goes and how you pay for most expenses using a debit card. And a check-ins account. This is where you could store money you don't plan to spend right away. Some offer interest, but usually very low. Now, you'll often hear about high-yield savings accounts. These are generally offered at online banks only, like Ally and Marcus of Goldman Sachs. Because they don't have physical brick-and-mortar stores, they're typically able to offer higher yields on savings accounts. As of the middle of 2025, normal savings accounts like Chase Savings are offering 0.01%, but Ally is offering something closer to 3.5%. A couple of things to keep in mind when you're looking for a bank account. Monthly fees. Some banks charge if you don't meet minimum balances or deposit requirements. Try to find a bank that does not have these fees. Overdraft fees. If you spend more than what you have in your account, the bank may charge you an additional $30 to $40. Keep this in mind and don't spend what you don't have. ATM access. If you use ATMs outside of your bank's network, you may incur fees. Try to stick to your bank's ATM network to avoid these. Oftentimes, using online banks or credit unions can mitigate almost all of these fees. They can typically offer no-fee check-in and better savings rates, as well as having lower fees in general. 2. Credit scores. In many countries, cash is king, but in the U.S., credit is power. Your credit score is a number that tells banks, landlords, and even some employers how financially responsible you are. It's one of the most important parts of your financial life, even though it's rarely explained well. What is a credit score? It's a number between 300 and 850 that reflects how well you manage borrowed money. It's broken down into 5 main categories. Payment history. Do you pay your bills and loans on time? Credit usage. How much of your available credit are you using? Ideally, you want to keep it below 30%. Credit history length, how long you've had credit accounts. Credit mix, do you have different types? Credit card, auto loan, mortgages. And new credit, how many recent accounts have you tried to apply for and open? Too many applications can hurt your score temporarily. So how can you start building your credit? You want to have credit and start paying it off in full each month to show history. You can start by getting a secured credit card. This type of card requires you to provide a cash deposit, which would act as collateral in case you cannot pay. Use it for small purchases, things like groceries and gas, and ensure you pay it off each month. Over time, this will help you qualify for better loans, lower interest rates, and even housing opportunities. 3. Taxes. Taxes in America are complex, vary by state and by person. But here's what you need to know up front. There are different types of taxes. There's federal income tax, which is paid to the U.S. government and taken out of your paycheck automatically. There's state income tax. Some states, like California and New York, also take a cut. Others, like Texas and Florida, don't. Sales tax, added to most purchases, usually between 5 and 10%, and varies by state. Property tax. If you purchase a home, you'll pay this yearly based on its value. Tax returns are filed yearly with a cutoff date of April 15th. Even if you are not a citizen, you likely will still have to file if you work in the U.S. Depending on your income and withholdings, you might even receive a tax refund, which is a return of money you overpaid. 4. Payment methods in the U.S. and what to avoid. As we mentioned in the banking system, you'll quickly notice that most people don't use cash. Instead, payments are digital, fast, and sometimes tricky. The most traditional ways to pay have been through debit cards, which are linked directly to your checking account, and credit cards, which uses borrowed money and can help build credit if used responsibly and paid off on time. Now we have additional digital apps like Venmo, Zelle, and Apple Pay that allow you to make quick payments across networks. There are some things we would avoid or at least be very cautious about. Payday loans. When you're in a tricky situation, these quick loans can seem like a miracle, but they're built with outrageous fees and interest. Buy now, pay later loans. These modernized layaway plans are built around the premise of paying in installments with no interest added. If used wisely, they can be good, but they often lead to overspending and debt. To make it simple, stick with debit or credit, use a budget, whether written down or an app, and always read the fine print. 5. How to keep your money safe. Financial scams are unfortunately common in the US, especially targeting newcomers. Be alert and cautious. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Here are a few good practices to employ. Never click on links in suspicious emails or texts. If you don't know the person sending the information, delete immediately, and if you do, confirm with the person that they meant to send that email or text. Never share your bank account or social security number with strangers. Set up alerts with your bank or credit union so you know when money moves in or out. You can set limits so when large chunks of money enter or leave, you receive an email or text. Use strong passwords and enable two-factor authentication on all financial apps. And we know it's tedious, but do not use the same password to your financial accounts as you use on your other accounts like Netflix or even your utility accounts. Also, never feel embarrassed to ask questions at the bank or ask for help from someone you trust. It's always better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to your hard-earned money. 6. You're not behind, you're just getting started. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're new to the US financial system, but take a breath. Nobody knows everything at the start. Most of us are learning as we go too. The key is to focus on setting up a safe bank account, learning about credit and starting to build yours, understanding how taxes and expenses work, and staying away from financial traps. Thanks so much for watching. If you think this video will help someone else, please share it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.